Evening. I was going to say morning then, but it's very definitely not.
Morning. Oh, could be crash campus one already.
Nothing like I know what I'm doing at all.
Nothing like a professional intro.
No, no,
And that was definitely not a professional intro.
no. I guess welcome back to Green Valley, Nebraska.
Yes, welcome back to that green place.
Yeah, did you have a good Christmas?
Did, yes, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Apart from being ill for most of a week afterwards. But
Yes, you had a poorly mouth, didn't you?
yeah, some
Bless.
weird pain thing.
Too
Nothing
much
that
eating.
cocodamol and ibuprofen didn't sort. But I seem to be leaving a lot of crop behind, or am I just getting
Yes.
weird graphical glitches?
No, it's I would imagine it's the angle of the field edge.
Maybe.
I'll we might need to come and tidy that up later on.
Let me see if I can get it. Um,
Any better?
no. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? How it just stops
I guess it's the
taking all of it.
stupidly huge headers.
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to flex though.
Yeah, they don't seem to be.
No. Right, I've tidied up your mess. I'll go back to doing my bit now.
Excellent. I'm doing half of your job anyway, so you know.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to miss too much of what that crop there.
No, I'll see how far across I can edge as the land maybe flattens out a bit.
Yeah, it seems to a little bit down there. Well, it looks like it does.
There's something about not being used to such a large tool in there.
Yeah, since childish jokes here.
Yes, it wouldn't be one of these videos without childish jokes.
This is incredibly true. Ah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
behaving now.
So we've got a bit of an order to do things in, haven't we, really, with this harvest?
Yeah, sort of. The crops that are ready,
Yeah.
but also we need the sorghum for the ethanol plant,
Yep.
and we can't harvest the corn yet,
Yeah, so it kind of made
which
sense to do this first, didn't
which we
it?
need to dry some of and keep some of because it needs both.
Yes. And we need to buy the propane, which I think we
Yes,
should be all right for cash.
yeah, yeah. I've got it in pounds still, and kilometers per hour. Geez,
Yeah, I've got...
give me a
Oh,
sec.
yeah, I've got pounds and miles an hour. Get this
There we go.
road done.
I'm back in freedom units,
Freedom units.
miles per hour and dollars.
Yeah. What do
And
we
I,
want? We
I,
want
and
dollars.
I'm doing 4 washing machines per football field at the moment of sorghum.
Oh dear. Oh,
I
just how
remind
to.
me afterwards. I saw something very inappropriate about our colonial friends
Oh,
um, that I'm not going to mention on here because it's very inappropriate. But it made me laugh a lot.
yeah. We'll discuss that one after.
Yeah. Um, yeah, thankfully we have equipment that has CVT transmissions because I also have it in manual gearbox mode still.
Oh, are you still running that setup? Oh yeah, you were on last night, weren't you? Of course.
Yeah. Oh no, this one doesn't have a CVT transmission.
Oh,
There we go. Just bung it in 16th gear and pray.
yeah. Might be start to slow to pull off.
It's really weird. If you play without the funny gearbox mods, you can just stick it in top gear and they'll generally pull away.
Get there eventually. Yeah.
With all that extra realism stuff, you have to change gear so many times.
What I want to know is the clip that you put on Discord where Paul finally unfreeze you from that fence, were you actually in gear, or were you?
I was in gear.
Or you were in gear?
I was in gear. Yep. Yep. I was just very stuck. I was very stuck. It had got the mini wheel for the pickup header stuck over the fence.
Oh, I see.
We seem to be in a very snug situation here.
We do.
I don't remember this being a problem before.
No, not me. Oh.
Or I can attach to the header.
Oh, this is going to go well.
It's fine.
There we go.
And I can switch automatic gearbox back on.
Whilst you unload me.
That one.
I think I looked earlier, and this field was about something silly with the hectares. Let me have a look. They're all not that they're all silly with hectares.
Yeah, and they're all pretty big.
21.97 hectares.
So about 25 football fields.
Yeah,
we spoke about that yesterday.
Boxes.
On and a football field is 0.7 hectares apparently.
Oh.
Right.
Very good.
How much have you got left?
None. That's
None.
it. I am empty.
Awesome.
So actually, while we're stopped, when can we harvest the corn? So the corn is October.
Okay, so probably some planting next time, maybe?
I think so, and getting these fields in a bit better shape, because the precision farming
is awful.
This one's not too shabby at the moment, but yeah, they really are in need of some work.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that last time.
Yeah, we did. We said, yeah,
we've got some fun kit for doing that.
We have. Be interesting to get into using it, to be fair.
Yeah. I'm almost done. There we go.
I shall start edging forward.
I'll reverse into the pick up the auger wagon.
Yeah, I was quite impressed myself, actually. Managed to work out how to use the headers last time, or at the end of last episode.
Yeah.
Or before, I can't remember.
You loaded them up onto the combines today. I'm rocking around like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is not. It must be the edge of the field.
I think, yeah.
I should have been less enthusiastic.
That is some wobble.
It's quite distracting.
It's mesmerising. It's almost a short there if you can make it work.
No. I was chatting about that in an upcoming video, and I really struggled with those.
Yeah.
I find the only one there, the one we did from this, which was kind of spontaneous moment of, wait a minute, I could drive on the back of there.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones, I find it really hard to come up with scenarios.
Yeah.
To generate from a normal thing.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think, other than the one that we did, all the others I've had to record separately.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You know,
you said, yeah, probably done 5 or 6 now, but it's not like it's taken from actual gameplay. They're all set up specifically for doing that. Yeah, I find it difficult to. I never really get the opportunity to. You know, things don't happen that you think, oh, I'll put that in as a short. That'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
But
I can think of a few that I've had in the past, but not recently, that have been worked. Like if I'd done one of the forage harvest, the sugar beet harvest, having a drink.
Yeah.
And I had one where it was follow me, went flying into a tree. That was quite good.
Yeah.
That was on Chellington, so it would have been FS90. But yeah, I haven't had many. The only one that I did recently was when the telehandler fell over.
Yeah, I'm tired. I want to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's just not moaning. It's just something else to do, isn't it?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
it's not one that I really worry about too much.
no, I think now the link between main channels and shorts is, to quote vidIQ, being bridged.
Mm.
I think it does have a benefit, and I think I said to you off the one we did on here, I think I got like 3 subs or something. So
Yeah.
it has
Uh,
its benefits.
I'm sure it has. Yeah, I'm sure it's worthwhile if you can kind of do them naturally.
Yeah, yeah. If they feel
Um,
forced, I think it's a bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really hard format to fit anything in to
Yes.
plan. I did a few that planned, and fitting something into a minute is quite difficult.
Yeah.
I'm full again.
I'll uh, I'll go and grab a. No, press the right button. That might help. And we're on the wrong implement. There we go. Right. Let's go and find a tractor. I've parked this the wrong way around. This
I'm
could be fun.
I'm bringing my one over as well because I'm half full anyway. I
Okay.
think we've got
Yeah, I
both.
think the shorts, they do have their place, and sometimes I'll just sit there and have a flick through, and a lot of it does seem that the content that we do is difficult to, yeah, unless something majorly goes wrong and you can capture that one bit, it's difficult to sort of make anything worth viewing, I suppose.
Yeah,
Is the way to put
yeah,
it. I quite like the little tutorials that you did. That was a good idea.
yeah. They sort of worked, but they were. I was going to do a few more, but again, it was kind of hard to think of things to fit into a minute without
Yeah.
massively rushing stuff.
Yeah, or doing a part 1 and a part
Yeah,
2.
and
Yeah.
then you're relying on YouTube serving part one and part two together.
Or you rely on them people going from the shorts um, section of YouTube to your page to then,
Yeah,
so
which is potentially unlikely.
yes.
I'll let you finish emptying your combine.
Thank you. You're at a rather interesting angle.
The theory was that I might be able to start mine sooner if I start unloading sooner.
Uh-huh.
What did you bring over? Oh, your big vent.
Le Fent. But yeah, I think the other thing I'm trying to get into more is the posts.
Hmm.
I
I
think they're an
think those help.
interesting way of driving engagement.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. It's just, something I was rambling to myself about this morning about the whole how the YouTube algorithm works, and I'm pretty sure no one actually knows because YouTube have said they don't know because it uses machine learning in
Yeah.
how it works things out. So a lot of these channels that claim they can help you find the magic thing are, I think, guessing.
Yeah.
But
I
I
agree.
think that probably the way it works more is, and it's my experience, that the channels that you engage with, you get served more of their content.
Yeah.
So I'm subscribed to a lot of channels, but I have watched no more than one video, and I never see the stuff they release now.
Okay.
Whereas
Yeah, I think.
the stuff that you
Yeah.
watch every day, you'll find as soon as that channel posts a video, you'll probably get it in your feed, your
Yes.
subscriptions feed or your homepage.
Yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing that I clocked the other day, and I probably should have paid a bit more attention to it, was if you scroll down the homepage, and at some point you'll get to, where are you going?
I had a big lag spike.
Oh.
And I was trying to predict the turn.
um, was yeah. Obviously, you see posts from people that you subscribe to, but I'm sure there was one, maybe two posts from people that I've either maybe like watched a short of or watched a couple of minutes of a video, not subscribed to,
Mm.
that were appearing. I was like, oh, I didn't realise that they did that. I thought posts were, as in the name, community posts were
Yeah, I'm not
posts for
sure.
your community. So whether they then, because I've interacted in the sense that I've watched a short or a bit of
Mm.
a video, I think, oh, they might like to hear from this person.
I
So
find that I get a lot of recommendations from
yeah,
the short little bits of shorts that you might see as you're scrolling.
mm,
Um, and I think the other thing that I noticed is putting pictures in posts works really well.
yeah, I
The
think that's on the because that um, it takes up a lot more of the screen, doesn't it?
that
I think
picture poll,
is the theory there.
yeah,
Yeah,
the picture poll that I did got a lot more reaction than any of the non-picture ones I've done.
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it is trial and error for me, anyway. You know, I think I did one on a thumbnail on Carmson where it was just Carmson Farm and a picture of the fast track, I think, doing
Mm.
something. Didn't really mess around with a thumbnail, no arrows, no clickbaity titles or slogans. And I think there was you get your click-through rate, don't you? And that was
Yeah,
significantly lower. And I think the views are a lot lower as well.
interesting.
But also titles. Um, I've Carmsden has always been a this is what we're doing sort of title, and then
Mm.
Carmsden episode 3 FS22. Attingham I'd started off with just like Attingham Park, and then not the episode number, no, and then put the hint at what we were doing in the description
Yep.
or on the thumbnail. And I think to start with, because of the hype around that, that worked brilliantly. But
Because
then
everyone was watching Attingham videos.
exactly, and but then you start to see a drop off again. Same with Colonia, that
Mm.
was just a title, sorry, map name, and then what we're doing, and in the thumbnail, but nothing in the description or
Yeah,
video description or title, should I say? Um, so yeah, I do think it's about
it's
experimenting.
yeah, it's interesting. One of the it was one of the vidIQ videos that I watched. They spoke about if a video's not doing well, changing the title.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen that on some of the tech channels that I've watched very recently.
Okay.
One of their videos, they changed the title about 3 times.
Really?
And none of the times it was suggested to me, it made me want to click on and watch it. But yeah, it was quite interesting seeing that a lot of these big channels do have additional titles.
Yeah.
And it stuck out. It was obvious, I noticed that they changed it because it was quite an obscure topic. And
Okay.
yeah, and I've seen them do it a couple of times now that I know to look for it. It's,
Yeah. Speed.
well,
Power.
well, you can go and empty my combine while I empty my bin then,
Sounds like a plan.
because this is pretty much full as well.
I'll do mine first so you can get past.
I'll take a little bit out of mine.
Oh, I turned the engine off on my combine, didn't I?
Rookie mistake.
Rookie move.
Uh,
But yeah, I do think that I've never done that.
No, I haven't. I don't think with what we do it makes so much of a difference.
No.
Maybe with some of the tutorial stuff it might, but I think very, yeah, it feels like very rarely do you get people that join in part way through. So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
with gaming stuff, most people will watch all of a Let's Play.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
they like it. If they like the first few videos, they'll probably watch all of it.
Yeah.
If the first few videos they don't click with, they probably won't watch any more of it. So
Yeah.
I think it matters less, like you say, with apart from with a new app release where you're getting the hype of like Attingham or when Calmsden came out or any of those.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's right. I do think there's And I find this a lot. You watch the videos on, how to make your channel majorly successful. Find your niche. Okay, found a niche, kind of. But then a lot of it kind of doesn't apply. But then you almost have to think, well, does it? And I'm just not reading it right. But yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of those, that kind the vidIQ stuff, because we both watch some of their stuff. I
yeah,
think that's not really focused on what we do.
no,
Um, and so, I think if you're doing more topical stuff, then it is important to find your niche.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Um, Whereas this is focused on, a particular thing. And
yeah,
I think most of the time, if you watch something like vidIQ, they'll tell you not to do this
probably, yeah,
because it's,
yeah.
you're you're in a very saturated market.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and
It's really easy to go, oh yeah, I love playing this game. I'm going to start making videos from it, and I'll be just like Daggerwin, and 500,000 people will watch me, and they won't,
yeah,
because they
no,
won't even see that you've made a video.
exactly, yeah.
Um, if you're lucky, you'll get one or two at first, and slowly it will grow. And I think it's part of it with this is having the patience to persevere
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah, definitely,
and
yeah.
find the people that enjoy watching what you create.
I think that's a lot of it. We spoke really early on, didn't we? And I can't remember what we were talking. Who, or there'll always be somebody that wants to watch you,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's finding those people, isn't it?
It's something that I talk about a fair bit with stuff like that, and I wasn't going to bother doing another headhunt.
Yeah, fair point.
I was just trying to tidy up a little bit. Was
Yeah,
Make the videos that you would like to watch yourself.
yeah,
It's what we were talking about earlier when we were chatting about the time lapse stuff that
yeah.
you've started trying, and I've thought about doing again. It's if I won't watch it, why should I expect someone else to?
Yes, this is true. Yeah,
If I'm not willing to spend the 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes watching it, why should I assume that someone else will?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
And there
yeah,
might be people that will, and
yeah,
the time lapse stuff is a classic example. There are people like Chainsaw who have huge channels
yeah.
who make time lapse videos, um, but I won't watch them. So why should I assume someone else will watch me make them? And it's
This is
kind of how I
true.
started, but yeah, my thing has always been make a video that I would watch.
Yeah, yeah. And that goes. That's the same for thumbnails, isn't it? What would make me click on this video and choose it out of 50 other farm sim videos that I've been
Yeah,
recommended. But
and that's something that I've not paid attention to as much in the past, and I try to
Mm.
now.
Yeah,
And looking at it and thinking, but I think part of the problem that sometimes you get, with this one that we're doing, it's quite dark, and I
yeah,
find if everything's quite dark, I probably won't click on it or think
yeah.
about clicking on it. So I've done a lot of stuff lately with I boost the brightness and the color saturation and stuff
Okay, yeah,
to
yeah,
try and make it more vibrant.
yeah,
I don't know if it helps or not, but if you look at someone like Dagwin's thumbnails, they're always really bright and vibrant and almost cartoony in how he edits the
yes,
picture.
yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, it probably actually is like near enough a year ago now since I started this malarkey, and I don't know if I've ever said it before. I sent the first one I'd done, or first or second one, to Argsy, and I said, "Would you mind reviewing it?" And to be fair to him, he did. He had a look. A few pointers on sound, funnily enough. But the one was thumbnail. He says it's so dark. Change the field of view, zoom it in, focus on what trying to show.
Yeah,
And he pointed me to an FSG tutorial using Pixlr, which is what I use now still. And the difference, just brightening it up, crisping the, making it, improving the clarity of it. But it's like I said, that one that I didn't bother with, it does get a different response from the audience. So
Yeah,
it's absolutely right.
I think that's the bit of trying to get people to click, isn't it? And finding the people that like it is getting them through that first click, and then the first few minutes of a video.
The video hook.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's right.
It's one of the reasons why I sometimes worry about, like sometimes the first 10 minutes of one of my videos is me messing around with courseplay or auto drive trying to get it to do something. It's like, how many people have switched off at this point because they don't want to see that?
Well, yeah, there is that, but then it's I don't know, you sort of hit and miss with it, aren't you? I guess it's not always going to grab everybody, but it might be that one person that was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with auto drive, or
and that's kind of my hope, that the people that watch because of I do that kind of stuff. And so
sorry, just to interrupt our flow, which row are you coming back up?
I am coming back up the one
Super.
so that I'm in the middle, so that I can unload my combine because it was almost full.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll make sure I get this straight then. That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah, I was being a little bit cheeky. And how full are you?
74.
Okay, I'll come to you first then.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you see the algorithm. I do think, if you've got content that you're happy with, and a decent looking thumbnail, I think you're halfway there, aren't you? Really, I think there's a lot of it then is in the hands of the YouTube.
Yeah, and the audience, the fickle people watching it.
Yeah.
And there's something that we chatted about on Discord last week or so. There's no magic, I don't think.
I don't know.
Maybe there is. Maybe there's some secret sauce that if you put that in a title or a keyword or whatever, but ultimately, you know the experience yourself from being someone who watches it.
Yep.
There isn't something that's magically going to make you watch a video you hate.
This is true. Yeah.
There's no magic title or thumbnail or keyword that when you scroll past it on the screen, you might click on it, maybe, but then you might not keep watching it for more than 30 seconds or 10 seconds.
Is it going to keep you? Yeah.
And that's the bit that's important in the long term.
Yeah.
Is
absolutely.
You can have some of my videos that have lots of views. They drop off almost instantly.
Yeah.
The ones where you wake up in the morning and you've gone from 20 views to 1,000.
They're the best.
but then you look at the analytics and you find that the watch time is a minute.
Yeah.
Because YouTube has the algorithms decided to serve it up to people.
Yeah.
People have clicked on it and they don't like it.
Yeah, and
you don't gain much out. You might, I guess you hope you gain one or two people that do like it. But those 1,000 people aren't coming back.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is the returning viewers and getting a balance between a decent amount of views, but also the watch time, so you know that you're engaging people and keeping them there, I guess, isn't it?
And that's part of what the algorithm uses as well.
Yeah.
Because that's how they know if people like the video.
Yeah.
If people click on it and instantly shut it off, it's a pretty good sign that YouTube's made the wrong choice in recommending it to them.
And don't bother again, yeah.
Whereas if they click on it and they watch 10, 20 minutes of it, YouTube's probably guessed right.
Yeah. And then it'll hopefully carry on doing that.
Yeah.
For the future.
That's the weird one as well about, having so many subscribers or whatever. It only really matters to get you past the hurdle of 1,000 in some sense.
Yeah.
Until you get huge, I think. Again, this is all the opinion of someone with a fairly small channel still. But I think until you then jump that gap to maybe 100,000 or 20,000,
Yeah.
YouTube's not going to start recommending you to anyone. So I guess long term you need to bridge that big gap. But I found from 1,000 on, the number of subscribers didn't really affect the number of views significantly.
Okay. Yeah.
And I tend to sit at probably less than 10% watch.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, we were chatting about it earlier. I think your ratio is very different. Yours is probably the other way almost.
Yeah.
And
I think, and that's what I tell myself sometimes, because you think, oh, why am I not growing? Why am I not growing? But then, I'm a year in, nearly. Well, I am now, I think. And I've got a lot of people that do return, and I'm nearly up to my 4,000 watch hours or whatever. And it's like thinking to myself, well, it'll come. Like there's no mad rush, and I'd rather build an audience that does watch, and then and sticks around. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But the words aren't necessarily flowing.
I was trying to let you speak rather than me talking all the time. I completely agree that, and I think that's where I'm always a fan of kind of just organic growth.
Yeah.
Rather than, that you probably find, and I suffer from to some extent because a lot of people subscribe when I do a tutorial and they don't come and watch any more videos.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. If a channel grows really quickly, a lot of the time they get big numbers of subscribers, but not viewers.
Yeah.
And subscribers don't get you anything,
No.
People need to watch the reason you don't make the videos to get someone to click on a button and then never look at what you do.
Yeah.
You want people to watch it. That's why you make it.
Yeah.
And so it's much more important that, you probably 80-90% of people that subscribe to your channel watch your videos at the moment. So when you pass that 1,000 point, you might have 800 people watching your videos every day, or however often you release them.
Yeah. And I think, like you say, it's that organic, natural, progressive growth. That's what I keep telling myself anyway.
It's the theory that I talk about, partly because I hate promoting stuff. I'm not a fan of kind of forced promotion. I don't know if you see them. There is a YouTube channel, a small farm sim YouTube channel that is paying for advertising. I get a lot of ads for them. They do some stuff quite similar to me.
I can't think of the name.
And
it's got a green logo.
Yeah, it really, it's like you're clearly really trying to force growth. By paying YouTube to push your stuff, and it makes me not intentionally not click on it.
I've seen it, and it was like, oh, that's a weird one. I've not seen that done before, but
I saw a video on someone who tried it. They had a bigger channel and they were trying to promote it into other areas, and it was very expensive. And for me, it's an instant. I just won't watch it. It's the same as I really hate clickbait.
But it works sometimes.
It does sometimes, but I hate it. I've stopped watching Tom Pemberton because every thumbnail is clickbait.
Yeah.
It's just something that I hate. It's like if his videos are good enough that 500,000 people watch his stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't click on it because there's an arrow pointing to oh no, this went wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them do, but most probably don't. And I know it works in some ways, but it really turns me off. So. I won't
And I
watch
think,
them. Same, someone's trying to force their channel on me by paying to advertise. I'm not going to click.
no.
I'm not going to click.
Yeah, oh, I've stopped pressing push to talk. Yeah, I think i- if you, what gets me is when the clickbait is there, and that can be a minute or 30 seconds of that video.
Mm.
Whereas, you know, let's take one for instance, 500 cows with Maize
Yeah.
Plus. That's a whole video on that clickbaity topic.
Mm.
You know, and that was that was one of the reasons why in the planning of it all, I was like, 500 is a you know a big amount, and you know I'm not 499 or 501, but it's a nice round number that will get somebody's attention, and it's a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but when it's a whole video on it, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but you think, okay, I'm actually vested in this.
It's
So
not
yeah,
so much clickbait when it's actually the topic of the video.
yes, exactly,
You
yeah,
know, and you've set that whole thing up over time that that's what you're going to
yeah,
do. Um,
yeah,
it's when channels are big enough that they don't need to do clickbait. It annoys me.
yeah.
Or the top. I've done it sometimes because it's an interesting test. The title that makes people curious to click.
Mm,
And again, I quite often
yeah.
won't click for the exact reason that you're trying to trigger a response out of me.
Yeah, but I think if it's done in a way that you know it intrigues you and it gets people in, but then the video itself is completely based around that. You know, I'm trying to think of an example.
Well, like
You know,
your
it's
one you've
like
just given is the title was slightly clickbaity, but your whole video
yeah,
was about feeding 500 cows.
yeah,
Whereas if it's it's something clickbaity, like say it's 30 seconds of the video at the end.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
and you're trying to because all I'll do, I did it with a certain big YouTuber's FS video the other day when they said they went so fast, and I was
mm,
like, well, and I clicked through and I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh well, you know, I didn't sit and watch the 20-something minute
yeah,
video to try and, you know, went for that one bit. It'd be like if we did, you know, Green Valley, Nebraska, we recreate Night Rider and
yeah,
you know, load a tractor onto a trailer on the go.
yeah. You'd have jumped
That's
forwards to try and find it.
yeah, you would, yeah. It's like 30 seconds of a video.
Yeah, at the end.
Um, at the end, yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's a prime example, really.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it has its place, but then you've got to back it up. It's like they say about asking for. It's the whole asking for subs
mm,
thing, you know. Give somebody some value first, and then they're going to subscribe.
yeah. And the same with you know clicking like. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're 38 minutes into a video, like people might be now, and you're enjoying it, click the like button.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But doing it right, some do it right at the start, and sometimes I will. Oh,
What
suddenly
happened then?
I don't know. It suddenly got much lighter.
I put my headlamps on, but that is ridiculous. I wasn't expecting that. I was just thinking as well, it's going quite dark. We might
I'm
need to
not going
skip
to
till the
complain.
morning. No, nor me.
That's really weird. Yeah,
That is
some do it
odd.
right at the start, and sometimes I will do the click when they say.
Yeah,
But equally, and it's a balance again because not many people will watch this long
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
to click. So when do you say it? Tricky to know.
yeah.
I've tried
And
early, I've tried late. I found it makes very little difference. I think.
yeah, yeah. I think as well, I think I've done it where you don't bother. You know, I've got my outro bit. Thanks for
Mm,
watching. You know, like, subscribe, see you in the next one, whatever. And then you leave the subscribe bit out. You know, leave a like, da da da. And it's like, oh, I'm trying not to say that every video. Do you know, maybe leave it
yeah,
every now and again. But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I don't think there's much logic. I don't know. and it almost, I'm coming down to you now.
Cool.
It
I am
almost
Paul.
frustrates me because it's like I can't work it out. You know, I
I don't
pride
think,
myself on being able to work things out and understand stuff, and it's like I just need to let this one go.
I think the problem is that you're trying to work something out that's based on machine learning, and that's very hard for
Yes.
our brains to make the links because
Yeah.
machine learning might pick some really obscure reason for why
Mm.
you get served a video about something that is not obvious to you,
Yeah.
but the machine thinks he's definitely going to click on this. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that that makes it hard for all these channels. And I don't know what they're doing. All these channels that claim to be able to teach you how to do really well, because people will click on it because they want to know the quick
Absolutely.
answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Quick win. Yeah.
get monetized in a week, or
Yeah.
all those videos. People want that because they don't
Mm.
want to spend a year or 2 years, or however long it can really take
Yeah.
to
Building
achieve
it
that.
up. Yeah.
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 Um, and it's I just look at someone like FSG, who
Mm.
in the 2 years that I've been doing YouTube has 60,000 subscribers, bronze
Yeah.
giants partner, all that stuff. He clearly understands how YouTube works, and he's very good. He's very enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely. And I think having that, I mean, I think he does, I don't want to belittle it, a graphic design, but it's probably a lot more in depth than that. And if he's watching, maybe, then he'll comment and let me know exactly
he
what it is.
commented
But
on one of my community posts, so
he
that
did, he
surprised me.
does. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But, he's clearly got a very good eye for detail. The, and I know you're not a fan of him, but the role play series he did on Wyoming
Oh yeah,
was
that's done massive things for his channel.
massively successful, but all the little details, like, he was sat watching TV on one of them, and it was farm sim on the TV. It might have even been him and Argsy doing
I
something,
think it might have been, yeah.
and
I,
it's like the level of detail that you put in, and it clearly is appreciated by the audience.
yeah,
But yeah, what I was going to say was, I don't know if I've said it before. Can't remember. Sat watching TV one night, mobile phone lights up. You have a new comment on such and such a video, and it was FSG. And you think, what? He actually watches? And
yeah.
it's like, and you think, kind of a big head for a little bit. But
I
yeah,
had it. He commented on some of my tutorials or something,
yeah,
and it's like, I remember when, because he was doing cosplay tutorials on FS19 when I was starting to learn cosplay, and it was like I learned some of this stuff from him.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
you know, it's and I
yeah.
think I had the
That's enough
same
blowing.
with
That's enough blowing smoke anyway.
yeah, I think I had the same with Kadirk or Kederick or
Yeah,
however you say his name. He
good,
commented on one of
yeah,
them as well, and it's like okay, because you normally make these, and
yeah, yeah. I think but that's the other thing as well, is that I haven't followed too much of Kadurk stuff, but like FSG and Argsy do a lot for the community, I suppose. They've got the mods that they're involved with. Not the mods, the discords that they're involved with, where trying to keep mods
yeah, the
from being
authentic
stolen, or
modders,
authentic. That's
yeah,
it. Yeah. I think that goes a long way to building their popularity. But
they're,
yeah,
they're 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 both, again, not to blow smoke. They both seem like pretty nice guys as well.
they do. To be fair, like I say, for when you send, I can't remember how many subs are because you've got the time, and you reach out to them and they don't just ignore you,
Hmm.
and they go, yeah, do this, try this, and you think, cool.
Yeah,
Do you know?
that's something that I can't remember where I was talking about it on. It's something that bugs me about some bigger, not some kind of mid-size channels, that
Yeah,
they won't respond to comments and questions and stuff,
yeah,
or
no,
even
it's right.
click like on your comment.
Yeah, it's
It's
30 seconds, if
yeah,
that, isn't it?
yeah. And if someone asks you a question, yeah, and you've taken, yeah, then maybe you don't do it anymore, but you've made the point of commenting on their video and asking them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
comment on their video, and you comment on it and they blatantly ignore you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know it. Yeah,
is quite frustrating sometimes.
yeah,
And I know the volume of comments I get is generally enough that I can deal with it almost instantly. But
hmm.
equally, the kind of time to return once you're getting that big, maybe you need to set aside a bit more time for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Or have a mod that would go through and
yeah, and
and
maybe
and
just click the heart button.
yeah, like and a heart. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No,
it's because I'm sure a lot of those people have moderators that help moderate their YouTube channels.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. If
Um,
you can trust someone with a Discord, why would you not?
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Um, so yeah,
yeah.
that and again, it's something that's not natural to me generally.
Mm,
The interacting with random people,
yeah,
but yeah, as a result of it, I've made friends with people
yeah,
that I
yeah,
would never have met any other way. Um,
yeah.
you know, so and they've probably done the same and maybe closed off that part of it now.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
on my way to unload you.
Okie dokie. I will head to yours.
I'm not sure how full the lorry is either.
Oh yeah, fair point.
I'll leave the auger park under your auger, and I'll take the lorry and go
Is
empty
it
it.
wanna? Is it worth putting it straight into the
Dryer,
um? No,
the
the
ethanol plant.
that's the Badger. Yeah.
Oh, let me check the map and see where it is.
Oh, I might have to start flying and watch you see if you crash.
You're turning into Paul.
Oh dear. There's a theme though, isn't there?
Mm. Yeah, there is a theme.
I wasn't actually going to say about the crashing. I
Uh,
was going to say about the laughs that you have, or with both me and Paul. You're doing completely different styles of gameplay, but it's still a laugh. Do you know, like,
yeah,
I think that's why I enjoy this, and I guess
it,
it's the same for you, is that
it's most of the
we
way across the
rock
map,
up.
so I'm going to chuck it in the silo.
Good shout, all right. Um, we'll rock up 15, 20 minutes beforehand, check sound, chat a bit, then decide what we're going to do, and then just get on with doing one job and have a chat for what
Yeah,
we're up to now, nearly 50 minutes
yeah, it's
whilst we do it, and make a video out of it.
and it's that
And
kind of common interest again. And
yeah,
ultimately, I guess you find people that are quite similar.
yes,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
it amazes me how one, I can lose where a whacking great silo is, and two, how similar a lot of the people are that I've met through doing this.
yeah,
And I guess it's because you find the same things interesting.
exactly. And I think you've got a common interest already in playing the same computer game as somebody else. And yeah, I think it just you build it up, don't you? It's like, yeah, have you found the silo?
I have. I'm trying to see how far through we are. Oh, we're most of the way through, actually.
Halfway?
No, we're
When
well over
yeah, we've
that.
probably got a few weird shapes left to do.
Yeah, we're well over halfway. It was starting to feel like it was going to be an endless job.
It was, and the lights dimmed again.
Hmm. Did you turn your tractor lights off?
No, they're on.
It might be worth slowing time right down.
Yeah.
I did not just crash into one of the big seeding rigs either.
Oh, see, now I'm actually going to have to watch your video.
I'll bring the lorry across now.
Hey, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Have you emptied the other combine?
Yes, yours is empty,
Okay,
and mine is just emptying as well.
cool. I'll just leave that about there. Uh,
Not a bad place to put it.
I'm back in the same combine, so
So it worked out well.
yep. I didn't realise you had one with tracks on it.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that,
No idea.
actually.
No idea.
Let's put some lines on so we can see which pass we're going to head up. That one.
Yeah, I think we've only got maybe 3 or 4 more passes each.
I reckon so.
We're eating quite a lot of the field up.
I'm glad we've got these massive headers.
Yeah, I'm not looking so much forwards to field 5.
Yeah, that was... I did look at that, actually.
I think we'll probably
So,
break course play out for that one.
I think so. That is 57.5 hectares.
And it's corn that we've got to harvest as corn. So the headers
Yes.
are not as big.
Correct.
So maybe we'll go for a full combine course play setup.
I think that might be an idea.
Because we might end up having to do a lot of karting for that to keep them going.
Yeah, we've only got the one big truck as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got 2 trucks. We've only got the one big trailer.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
of course.
200,000 litres, so
Yeah.
250,000 litres. So
It's going to be serious. You're still getting a lot of bounce.
I am.
How bizarre.
Not sure why.
No, I don't think it did it before, did it? I can't remember
No.
from the wheat or barley, whatever we had.
No, I don't think it did. I wonder whether the wheels are not quite sitting on the ground on the header.
Oh,
I wonder if there's something that I know. No, not
can
that.
you, I forget the button for it. I think it's either, I think it's both mouse buttons. I think you can adjust the height of the header, I think, or do something with the header.
Yep. That's adjusted the wheels.
Maybe. Don't know.
Yeah, it has. It's lowered them, so if that's any better.
You can hear the cogs going.
They're touching the ground.
That seems smoother.
That's better. I'd forgotten to press the button. Yeah, it lowered the wheels down, so
Okay, cool.
slightly better. They do look good running together.
They do. I'm just going to attempt to do some form of screenshot.
Same. I have got another one as well from earlier, so hopefully they've saved this time, because last time when I was taking them, they didn't seem to save.
Oh, yeah, of course. I had to send you it, didn't I? There we go. I do like the old console commands.
Oh, I used Easy Dev.
Oh dear.
Much easier.
Oh, I've done so well. That's my fault.
Clearly you.
That was clearly my fault. I've really messed up here. Trying to do too many things at once.
Yep, never a good idea.
Not born for multitasking.
No, you're male, so.
And the tracks at the end of the field. Yeah, I think we're just going to about make this with reasonable light left.
What are you looking for?
You're not pushing the button, are you?
Down. Okay. I've done in a bit. Bang on then.
Where have you gone?
I'm back.
Oh, hello.
I had a visitor.
Ah, there we go. How full are you?
Completely.
Oh, are you sorting yourself out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
just ripping the PTO out of your
It's
auger
fine.
wagon, yeah?
It's fine. It's a special flexible version.
A bendy PTO.
Yeah.
Torque resistant.
Yeah. Specially engineered.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't think we've got too much more to go. No.
No, I'm just looking. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then some really weird bits.
Yeah, I may disappear again for a second because
Okay.
I think the in-laws are appearing, and that will mean the dogs will bark lots.
Okay, no worries.
So I might, if I go quiet, that's why.
All right, mate, not a problem.
But
I'll crack on and get this done.
they're on their way around to pick up Chris. I don't need to go and see them. That's fine.
That's all right then. Job's
Yeah,
good.
there'll just be lots of noise
Oh,
when they knock on the door.
just good having the guard dogs.
It's really not most of the time. They are the worst guard dogs ever. I used to have a motorcycle,
Right.
which I had stopped riding, but was stolen from the front garden years ago.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they did not make a peep when that happened.
Oh, dear.
Someone will walk past the house and you'd think they were trying to smash the front door down.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they are useless as guard dogs. Absolutely useless.
Oh, I hope they're not watching. They'd be offended.
Pretty sure they're not. Pretty sure they're not. Yeah, they were. I was slightly amazed that someone managed to get my motorbike out of our front garden through a gate between two cars with not one dog barking.
Years ago, I remember our neighbour had he'd got a nice Alfa Romeo at the time, and it got nicked, but the thieves, I guess you call them, cut out the kitchen window, took this window completely out. And these people have got two dogs at the time, 1 or 2 dogs at the time. Dog didn't make a peep. They cut the kitchen window out. It's like at any other time they were it's pretty much a similar sort of thing, barking at the gate if you walk past or at the front window. But yeah, it just made me chuckle.
Yep. Yeah, minus people who walk past the house, dogs will bark like crazy.
Yeah.
Someone steals a motorbike out of front garden, not a peep out of them.
Just when you want them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it made some of my family happy because it meant I couldn't ride it at all then.
There is that, yeah. There's the fact that
Yeah,
they
and
make
I don't know if my dad had a very serious motorcycle accident when he was about 19.
okay.
So my parents hated the fact. In fact, I didn't tell them for a long time, and they hated it.
Yeah.
So
I think it's that. Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the rider's fault, does it?
I know, no. My dad was driven into by a car.
Yeah.
So it was not at all his fault.
No.
And what stopped me was seeing someone on the M3 on my way to work who had been hit by a car and did not make it, and I never got on my bike again. So
mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been me. Sort of.
Yeah.
Do I want to be doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to ride it to work. Not very often because it's a pretty long way to get to work where I am. But
I think that shock and awe can make you, make certain decisions probably quicker than you were going to anyway, in real time. But...
Yeah. I mean, it was a classic midlife crisis, post-divorce thing. It's like, I'm going to buy a sports car or I'm going to buy a motorbike, and I went motorbike.
Yeah.
And it was probably more sensible because I'd have probably done a lot more damage to myself in a sports car.
Yeah, I've seen you driving.
Yeah. It's not that bad in the real world, but I think there's the feeling of invulnerability in a car.
Yeah, you do feel a little bit more safe, don't you, when you've got
it's quite. I test drove.
tires and a roof.
I test drove a few cars with my dad.
Yeah.
When I was looking, we went out and we test drove a Subaru Impreza WRX and a Saab 93 Aero.
Okay.
Two very different cars.
Absolutely.
I think we drove the Subaru first, and we drove that, and my dad was like, "Wow, you were driving that really quickly," and I wasn't particularly. And then we got in the Saab, and he was like, "Oh, that's much nicer. It's much more sedate." It's like I was going way faster in that, but it's really
just
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had a Saab 9.5 as a hire car one time, and I'm not going to mention how fast I went in that, but it was very fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my dad having like BMWs and sitting in the passenger seat, and you think, oh, you don't seem to go that quick. You look over, and that's quicker than it feels, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But,
and it's because they're just really comfortable. Whereas the Subaru that I drove was pretty brutal. It had it was quite a high spec one, so it had like a full roll cage hidden inside the headliner and stuff.
okay.
It was very different to drive.
Yeah. I think you feel it a lot more.
Yeah, we should know all this stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
tend to.
So
This is rather heavy.
They do get a bit unresponsive, don't they?
Hand sliding.
Definitely one of the things that I felt was very different playing on the other multiplayer game was I felt like I could feel the weight of things a lot more.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's the manual gearbox and the realistic gearbox and stuff, but when I had a full loading wagon, I could not be in a high gear at all. And there was a really big hill to climb, and I was down in like second gear.
Super realistic, isn't it? To be fair.
In a way, it's really cool. In a way, it really messes my brain up. Because like, right, I've got to remember to change gear. Depending on the tractor, so I've got to adjust the throttle because I need more revs.
It's I guess, but you would feel the weight of things a lot more because, like you say, you're having to work your way through the gears.
Yeah, it's completely different. And I think probably if where you play on a wheel, it's probably much more natural.
Yeah.
But I'm having to remember to press the numpad plus key every so often. It's not quite as realistic.
No. But it's got its place, hasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
It
really taxes my brain sometimes. And there are a lot more people watching. But it's really good fun.
I think as well, for the amount that you do it, it is probably enjoyable. If you were doing a series like that, where you were having to do it all of the time, I think then it might.
I think it would become much more natural, though.
There is that, actually. Yeah.
And a lot of it for me is I only use those for 2 hours a week. And it's a bit like GPS. I don't use guidance steering. Only on this and the other multiplayer do I use guidance steering. And so I have to remember how to use it. I used to use it in FS19 until I found the VCA version. Because I just find it much quicker to set up.
Yes, yeah.
It's
One thing I do like is the flexibility of the angles I
Yeah.
think you don't really get that with, excuse me, GPS. I don't think
Well,
as much.
when I set this course up and when I used to use GPS,
Mm.
I always did it off of angle. So I
Yeah.
change it from an AB line to an A plus an angle.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. I've never actually looked at that bit.
yeah, so this is set to run at 0 degrees.
Oh.
Um,
See, every day's a school day.
yeah, I never liked the AB line method of setting up GPS.
Yeah.
Um, I always preferred doing it off an angle because maybe it's because when I started playing, I was playing on Giants maps and all the fields run at 27, 0 or 90.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's less of a case on a lot of modded maps because a lot of them, and an American one, not such a good example because a lot of those run north, south, east, west. But like on
Mm.
Calmston, what angle do you
Yeah.
pick?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I really miss playing on Calmston. It's,
Yeah, because that's been months now, hasn't it?
oh yeah, yeah. But something that I've talked about a lot. I can't fit four Let's Play series in.
No, no.
Um, I'm trying to do more in the ones that I'm doing.
Mm.
So next
Yeah, yeah.
week, on Tuesday, instead of just doing Timberborn, I'm doing Timberborn and Farm Sim.
Okay.
Because I don't like only playing on them once a week. It, the slow progress kind of frustrates me. So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm trying to squeeze more videos in a week to make more progress.
Yeah.
Partly because all of the ones I've got running at the moment I really enjoy, so I don't just want to stop one.
I think, yeah, I think that's a lot of it there, isn't it? Like we said earlier, we enjoy what we do. Um, and yeah, it's hard then to
Yeah.
stop doing that to then find something else. And I'm going to be like that with Calmston, especially as well lately. Like it's not taken off, but it's doing well still. Do you
Mm.
know, like it's not tailed
Yeah,
off.
it's not dropped away, and at that point it feels
No,
like, should I just keep going? Because and it was your
well,
first ever series, and so
yeah,
stopping it is going to be. And I was similar with the first one that I did. I kept that running for a very long time,
yeah,
and I did quite an unusual ending for me,
okay,
and because it transitioned into something very different.
got you, yeah,
And yeah, it was a very different video that I did. It was a little bit role play.
okay,
But that series ran for quite a long time, and I was really tempted to go back to it.
yeah,
I think if the map came to FS22, I probably would.
okay,
Um,
yeah. I think it's as well. It's trying to. I think I said it in one of the Calms videos. Says it's nerve wracking starting something. Do you know? It's that sort of.
is it going to work?
Is it going to work? Um, how can I, find something that is just as good, but different?
Yeah,
And yeah, it's
which is not easy
no
now
pressure. No.
because you're going from an Oxy map, which
Yeah,
is always going to be good and always going to be popular.
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
it is, and like I said, oh, power slide again. I'm surprised that. Well, I am and I'm not. It's one of the best maps that's released for console as well on FS22, and you think, well, that's why it's going to hold because a lot of the other stuff isn't as good. Do you know?
yeah,
Well, just trying to be polite, but
yep,
also
no, it's
honest.
true.
And it's a difficult task to beat that. And the next big one will be Court Farms.
Yeah,
Undoubtedly. Looking at the screenshots
yeah, it
and
looks awesome.
what's going to come, you think, looking forward to that. And that's another point to factor in is, and you've said this, is I don't want to get into map hopping,
Yeah,
and I don't want to start something and then caught farm drop, and it's one of those ones you think I've got to do something on that, and I've got to do something quick.
But I think Court Farms is quite a way off still.
I think you're talking spring, I think, aren't you, for that?
Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. Yeah, maybe spring, but and I don't know when Calmston released, because that might be a good indication of the time of year that he might target.
Oh, I can't remember. I think was it Feb time?
I've got a feeling it might have been something like that.
I think it was Feb.
Um,
I'm just on my phone now, scrolling back through videos.
yeah, because I think I quite quickly jumped onto it and very quickly wrapped up something that I was doing to be able to.
My first video on it was the 21st of Jan, so it must have been around then.
Yeah.
So
I really don't remember.
No.
And I didn't jump straight on it. I waited for the first update.
Yeah, I can't remember if I... No, I was straight on it, I think, on that one.
Because, generally, he does quite big updates.
Yeah.
Does your order need emptying?
Yes.
Or
I'm just about to unload the combine into it. And put the header through the window, nearly.
Excellent. So much lag.
There we go. Well, that didn't take long. It's like an hour and 10 minutes.
Hour and 10, yeah. We're going to jump in the vent. You turned the engine off, didn't you? Were you empty?
I'm empty, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, empty.
Wow.
So what did we get? Let's have a look at the old...
It won't tell you in the silo.
Precision farm. Precision farm.
Precision farm. I'm going to guess about 370,000.
378.
And I hadn't even looked.
Really? I shall look back and find out.
Yeah. That was going off the fact I had a not quite full trailer before and a fairly full trailer now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've got 160,000 litres in here at the moment.
It's mad, isn't it, using that one?
So what I like about it, there's lots of lag, is it doesn't have weight.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because it's an Unreal version. It's ever so nice on greenlands when you're moving huge amounts of silage.
Oh, yeah, because you've got that one on there.
Yeah. Same problem that you have on Calmston with volume of feed.
Yes, it's cool. I mean, I think I said it in one of the videos. Where have you gone? Oh, you're there.
To the silo.
Yeah, I stopped recording at like 10:30 or something, 11:30 in the morning, and by 2:30, I was ready to. I'd advanced enough time to move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
it's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. You need much bigger feed troughs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And a much bigger feed mixer.
Well, yeah. They're not going to be about for much longer.
Beef burgers for everyone.
Yeah, burgers all around. That's an impressive salt. It is good.
I'm going to back up so we can make use of the headlights.
That's not a bad idea. Not just a hat rack.
No, because it is incredibly dark now. My mouse goes to sleep when we're doing this because I use the cursor keys to do all the movement.
Yeah.
Because I have to hold down delete to talk.
Oh.
So I tend to use the cursor keys to move the camera around. As the mouse goes to sleep. That was fun.
That was good fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week, hopefully.
We will indeed, hopefully, yeah. Things should be back to normal, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
enjoy work.
Doing some field work.
Yes. Getting the beastly tractors out, I think.
Yeah, cool. I will see you next week, mate.
Speak to you later, mate. Take care.
thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, comment questions and suggestions below. And if you're not already and you've watched an hour and 15 minutes, think about subscribing. I'll catch you next time.